Hey, tuko riadha, my dear friends, my subscribers. Let's chat a little bit here, a little bit about athletics. Some sad news a little bit here to share with you guys. And as a Kenyan, I speak with a heavy heart, but I'm being realistic and say that Kenya has truly turned into a drug nation, a doping nation in athletics. I'm declaring that. If you follow my episodes, I've been very, very candid about the whole landscape of doping, cheating, impunity. Just the idea of lawlessness in Kenya in athletics is caught up with us. The latest is the world record holder, allegedly, Ruth Chepngetich, 209.56 in Chicago, has been found wanting. She's been suspended provisionally for doping. No surprise here for me. If you go back to my episodes, I was very skeptical. I shared my what I thought was just too unrealistic kind of an accomplishment for Ruth. I felt she could not defend how she did it. And let me read to you something that caught my attention this morning when I was investigating who she is. When she broke the world record, somebody took time to ask her very interesting questions. And this is a very interesting response from Chepngetich. This was a journalist who gave her this interview at a press conference. She was asked, Ruth, unfortunately, in recent years, there's been a number of doping positives in Kenya. What would you say to someone who says when they see 209.56, this is too good to be true? I have questions about it. This is Ruth Chepngetich responding. I don't have any idea. Johnson, the journalist, asked her again. Some people may think that the time is too fast and you might be doping. What would you say to them? This is Ruth Chepngetich responding. You know, people must talk, but blah, blah, blah. People must talk, so I don't know. You know, when you are asked a question that is legit and you're a Kenyan, and I've always said this about people who are hiding something, they are either dismissive or they pretend they can't speak or they pretend they didn't understand the question. I remember Sam Sosa. Is it Sosa? Is a baseball player. He used to play for Chicago. And then there was another Maguire, I think was the other guy who was busting baseball back in the 90s. And they were being interrogated and investigated by, I think it was the Congress. And there was an open session where the Sam Sosa, or whatever his name was, he was asked this question. And then this is what he says, I don't speak English. Whatever Sosa guy reminds me of Chepngetich. When somebody says, you know, people must talk, so I don't know. Or the response, I don't have any idea. You've just ran 209.56, Chepngetich. You are being asked a legitimate question. I've been asking on this YouTube about doping in Kenya. The only thing you could do, Chepngetich, is dismiss the question and hide behind the idea or the response, I don't know, people talk. All she had to do was at least provide something for us to chew on, because 209.56, even at that time, was a mind-boggling time for women. And I think for us to hear that she's been busted for doping, we avid fans like me, I'm not surprised. Kenya has had almost 300 cases of doping, suspensions, athletes being banned provisionally. Some have been banned for 16 years. Some, I think, their careers are over. This is the cloud. This is the reality on the ground. I remember I talked to you guys last time about, I wanted to talk to Barnabas Korir, whom I've labeled as the drug czar of Kenya in doping. He's the face, he's the man you go to when it comes to what is going on in integrity, in testing, and in finding the culprits and these people who are abusing the drug of doping in athletics and abusing just the whole entire enterprise of Kenya athletics. Barnabas career did not provide me the audience I was seeking because I wanted to ask him these questions. Doping is a major problem in Kenyan athletics. Period. It is a big problem. We are third in the world in countries that have been found to be using, and even almost I would say that we are sponsoring it. Let me tell you how bad it is. It is so bad, and it is associated predominantly by one manager whom I've alluded to. I've spoken at great length about Federico Rosa. He has a base, he has a training facility there in Kapsabet. He has sponsored, managed, professionally engaged some of the best marathon runners we know in this country. I think 2016, he was arrested, investigated by Kenyan DCI, the criminal system in Kenya. But they compromised and dropped the ball, released the guy. Of course, he paid his way out, which is the problem in Kenya. These people with big pockets will pay their way out of the legal framework. Federico Rosa, the Italian. You can go back and look at my episodes. I've exposed this guy to be fraud. Let me give you the names that he's been associated with, that he's managed and have been found to be using dope or drugs in athletics. Rita Chepngetich, two-time Chicago Marathon champion. I'm talking of Boston, 3 times Boston and 3 times Chicago champion. Rita Chepngetich. Jemima Samsung, Olympics 2016. Lawrence Cherono, 2019, and Chicago Boston Marathon, was banned for drugs. Sarah Chepchirchir, 2017, Tokyo Marathon, banned. Titus Ikiru, 202, marathon guy. Aspel Kiprop, you remember the guy? 2008 Olympiad, gold medalist. He was banned in 2019. Why am I bringing Federico Rosa here? Until we Kenyans ban and criminalize these curtails that are associated with our athletes, until we take care of the problem in the house, we can still cry wolf, wolf, and nobody cares. We are being exposed day and night. 300 athletes in Kenya have been banned for drugs. I'm not just the voice in the wilderness here. I've been saying this all along. Kenya is a dope nation. You can go back and check some of my YouTube. I've said this is a doped nation. It's a fact. Barnabas career trying to avoid me here in Eugene, not finding time even to talk to me, because that was the biggest question I have for him. What is going on with how we are weeding out this pandemic, endemic that has infiltrated our athletics to a point whereby we are now third behind Belarus and Russia. I think personally, I wish Kenyans were just banned from athletics, period, so that we can put our house in order. This is a time I think there should be a heavy hand coming down on Kenyan athletics so that we may recognize that in the integrity and the beauty of the sport that some of us are advocating every day and night should be made as clean as it should be. Let me tell you something that's problematic to me in Kenya, okay? So when people questioned Agnes Chepngetich world record in Chicago, I think some journalists came out very just dropping the bomb of this is not possible for a woman to run 209. In fact, there's a journalist who went as far as saying that this woman is dope. Now we find out she was. Okay? So you can go all you want, but it didn't take that long for us to find out Ruth Chepngetich was juiced up before she broke the world record. And it is very sad that I'll pause here and say one thing about Chicago Marathon. It's become the graveyard for marathon runners in Kenya, figuratively or literally, because Kelvin Kiptum, the late Kelvin Kiptum, broke the world record in Chicago. He's not here with us anymore. How did I even say that? Yes, Chicago Marathon has turned out to be the graveyard of Kenyan marathons runners. We have a woman who broke the world record. Now she's been found wanting. She's been found to have been juiced up. And the former world record holder in men died. I hate to be the one saying this, but at least I'm saying it because it speaks a lot to the fact that Kenyans to be in denial and not recognizing the deadly pattern that we are seeing here is not something we need to talk about, investigate, expose, and interrogate as much as we can. What I found even more problematic, let me just say this. I went back to the journalist who claimed that, alleged at that point that Ruth Chepngetich was doped. And I can't believe the reaction in Kenya's parliament. 12 parliamentarians stood up, spent hours defending Ruth Chepngetich in parliament, led by this notorious woman whom I'll just name here for the sake of the discussion. She said this. This is Gladys Bose Sholei, whatever her name is. She's a well-decked woman, well-spoken. This is what she said when people say that Ruth Chepngetich was using steroids or whatever. This is what she says in parliament. They spent a session in parliament. I must, however, express my deep concern and disappointment for what these journalists are alluding to in referral to Ruth Chepngetich having been questioned after the marathon after the Chicago Marathon. They spent a session, MPs after MPs, even some of them suggesting that one MP suggested here, I don't know whether it was Mayaga, Irene, whatever, Oboko, Natema, whatever these MPs were. These are the leaders of the country who say that the country should take a proper legal action to sue the journalist. To sue the journalist who is asking questions about Ruth Chepngetich, who finally we found out that she was cheating. Who is cheating now? These are the same leaders who are protected the drug laws like Rosa. These Italians, these agents who have used our athletes, to expand their empire of exploitation and abuse. Because when you think about it, these young athletes like Ruth Chepngetich, I'm not saying that she's innocent. I'm not. The way she responded to those questions when she was asked tells me how arrogant she could be too. To say, I don't know, at that age is pure nonsense. You knew, Chepngetich, you are lying to us. You've been found wanting. And these parliamentarians, these losers in the house of whatever they call it in Kenya, the house of idiots, for them to spend hours defending a woman instead of spending more time and a way of trying to keep the sport clean in Kenya and supporting our athletes is ludicrous, is shame, shame, shame. Gladys Bose Sholei, I must, however, express my deep concern and disappointment. I'm turning that on you. I express my deep concern and disappointment in the way you have not protected and tried to help the process of cleaning our athletes and making sure that they are not in hands of these Italians goons that I believe they're exploiting. They are using our athletes to promote their economic agenda. I think for me, it wears me out because when you think about it, 300 athletes in Kenya have been found wanting in dope, suspended, banned, and then you find a country that is complacent, hiding behind the fact that they can just go on parliament and say, whoa, 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 we are innocent. We are not innocent, Kenya. We've been found wanting. And it's about time Kenyans can handle the truth. It's about time. because Tukoriadha is a sad day in Tukoriadha. Another Kenyan bites the dust in doping. Ruth Chepngetich, another, some of these things I call another stain in athletics in Kenya. How long? How long? I'll keep talking about it. It's not going away. And I tell you what, it's very sad. Kelvin Kiptum, world record holder, dead from Chicago Marathon. I didn't say it killed him, but I'm just saying it's a graveyard. And here we go, Ruth Chepngetich, world record holder, doped. What a sad day indeed.